Yes, sir. It's the FCS CheckDown. Round number 2. Dave McCreary, Coach Ron Jackson. Coach, gosh, it seemed like we were just here yesterday or something.
Yeah.
Talking FCS football doesn't get any better than this. Looks like New Age is in the chat already. His dinner's ready. Ding, ding. Well, we talked about him already last week. Coach, second round of the playoffs. We're going to go around the FCS and talk about that Jerry Rice Award. We're going to talk about some coaching changes that have already taken place and some new hires that you actually told me about. I guess I hadn't been paying attention. I've been watching some Stranger Things, okay? So, as a matter of fact, Sweet Elizabeth's here, and we just roasted some chestnuts. Have you ever had roasted chestnuts?
I have not had roasted chestnuts. The closest thing that I can come to that is as a heavyset old lady that got on to me today. She said something to the effect that she didn't ask me something. And I told her, I said, well, hell, I didn't ask you where you was hiding all the damn acorns this year. So
you're not supposed to say.
And that's that.
It's Christmas. You're not supposed to say stuff like that.
Well, she looked like a squirrel to me, so I thought, whatever.
Oh, boy. Starting off the holidays strong. What's up, Lyle? Brandon Haddock in the comments. New Age as well. Yeah. So, so we roasted some chestnuts. When I took my daughter to Italy last year for a choral trip. And I'm cruising through Italy, and they're selling roasted chestnuts on the side of the street. And I never had a roasted chestnut, but I'm in Italy, so what do you do? And
right.
So I was blown away. They're almost like nutty flavored marshmallows. I mean, they're really sweet. They're really, really sweet. And Chris said, I wasn't sure that was something people actually did, roasted chestnuts. They actually do. And they're actually really good. So I wanted, just as a treat, I was telling Sweet Elizabeth about it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get some chestnuts, and we're gonna do it. So I put them in a skillet, 425 in the oven. It's not like the street vendors doing it in Italy, but they came out pretty good. So we were sitting there snacking on those suckers. Why am I talking about chestnuts? I don't know.
I'm proud of you, though. They sound good.
Yeah. So anyway, because we were watching. I wasn't preparing for the. I wasn't preparing for the show. I was watching Stranger Things with Sweet Elizabeth, snacking on some roasted chestnuts, and I should have known that there's been some coaching changes in the FCS. We'll talk about that. We have a special guest coming up in segment number 2 of the show tonight, and then of course we're going to do our game picks. So should be good. Yeah, Brandon Haddock. Oh, you do it all the time. You have a chestnut tree. See, that's all. And am I wrong? They're amazing. They are fantastic. If you have not had roasted chestnuts, please, this Christmas, order a bag from Amazon. You can get them and follow the instructions. I really recommend you soaking them in boiling water. That they said the shell comes off a little easier that way. But they are fantastic. Okay, enough about my diet. By the way, and Elizabeth made a great point. If you had to eat all your food the way you have to tear the nuts apart, you would be skinny, because it's not easy to pull those things apart and eat the meat off. It's kind of like crab meat. You know, have you ever done a crab and how much effort it takes to freaking pull crab meat out? Anyway.
Yeah, I ain't doing that, dude. No, I ain't doing that.
Well, let's get into the business. First segment around the FCS, and really the only news that I think is newsworthy is the Jerry Rice Award has been given to Braden Atkinson from Mercer as the best freshman in the FCS, officially honored by Stats Perform. FCS National Award will be January 3rd in Nashville, but he has been announced as the award winner. So congratulations. He had a stellar freshman season, 10 regular season games, a true freshman. He had 250 completions, 367 attempts, a 68% completion percentage. He had 3,448 yards, second most in the FCS regular season with only 10 games under his belt, 34 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Congratulations to that young man there at Mercer. And you know what? Gosh, it just makes me feel like don't go looking somewhere else. Stay a Mercer Bear. Stay down there in Macon. The weather's nice. Just stay there, Braden, and you'll be all right. But congratulations to him. He's a player we got a chance to talk about and watch, and he deserves it.
Yeah, fantastic young man. Is he from the state of Georgia?
You know what? That's a great question. I will look while
Yeah.
you tell us about where you
Well,
are.
I just kind of assumed that he would, but I mean, honestly, for a freshman to come in and put up those kind of numbers at that kind of a program at the level that
Yeah,
they are, I mean,
yeah.
and he's got some guys he to deliver the ball to. So congratulations to him. It's a fantastic season.
He's from Rollsville, North Carolina.
Well, close.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know where
not stuff too terribly
Rollsville
bad.
is. Yeah,
Mm, I don't either, but he's not too terribly far from Georgia, so he
yeah,
may
yeah,
stay.
yeah. Rollsville High School. If anyone knows where Rollsville High School is, or Rollsville, good stuff. Marilyn, great to see you joining the chat. Yeah, so just to go through the results of the voting, Braden Atkinson. Oops, a daisy. Got the award. Obviously, Caden Pennick came in second. UC Davis.
Mm,
And what's interesting is those two teams met the very first week, and it didn't count.
yes, right, right.
So, yeah, the Macon Bacon. Go ahead. That was the name of their minor league hockey team, I think, was the Macon Bacon
Yeah, believe you're right.
or something like that. And then, yeah, or minor league baseball, summer league baseball or something, because they were competing with Savannah Bananas, if I'm not mistaken.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah. Yeah, did I put that up? No, maybe I didn't publish that. There you go, Kobe. Great to see you, man. Zyshawn Edwards from Houston Christian was third in the voting. We didn't get a chance to talk and cover Houston Christian a whole lot. Lamont Lester Jr. out of Monmouth was fourth. Trey Page the third out of Tarleton was fifth. Landon Clark out of Elon. Tony Diaz, UTRGV. What a season they had. And I saw
Yeah.
Eddie Lee Marburger is on the Walter Payton finalist list. So congratulations
Yeah.
to URTGV. So good stuff there. Montrez Smith Jr. out of Austin P. Mitchell Summers, Sacred Heart, and E.J. Colson finished up the top 10 there in the voting. Great stuff out of those rookies, Coach Jackson. And, I've heard coaches say, rookies, freshmen, you can't live with them, you can't live without them, and you can't kill them. So, but great job there by Braden Atkinson and a lot of those. And of course, you got to some of these guys playing here in the playoffs, and they're leading their teams. It's unbelievable what these young men who were in high school a season ago can do.
Well, high school ball is different than it was when I was playing. These
Oh yeah,
guys, they got their own individual trainers. They're getting lots of reps. They're getting lots of film. The guys are really dedicated to their craft. And honestly, to put up those kind of numbers, you really have to. It's tough to play college football as a freshman.
yeah.
In high school, they're typically not running man and zone, and you figuring it out on the fly. So to make those kind of decisions and be as consistent as that kid is from making, dude, congratulations to him on a fantastic season.
And you know what? When you hear like, oh, Caden Pennick's a freshman and Braden Atkinson's a freshman, in my mind, I picture what freshmen look like. When we were, or seniors look like, and going into high school, going into college rather, and they look completely
Yeah,
undersized, underweight. Not
yeah,
not these kids.
yeah. Adjusting to the speed of the game is
Yes.
huge, and literally those guys hit it in stride. I feel sure they must have played high level of high school football when they was in high school too.
Yeah, without question, without question. Well, congratulations to Braden Atkinson. He'll be formally honored there on January 3rd for the FCS Awards. By the way, got a good group in the chat or watching live online. So if you want to get involved, please, hit the like and subscribe. That always is helpful. And don't forget to join us in the chat as New Age just did. New Age has got, some people, especially down south, seem to have the facilities that would make some college schools green with envy. There's Grayson High School and Buford High School down here are absolutely Division I type stadiums.
Dude, Carrollton High
Unbelievable.
School.
And Carrollton, yeah, which is a stone's throw from my house. So,
Yeah,
and they upset Grayson this weekend.
yeah.
So, kids are understandably more physical health matters. Yeah, there really are, Maryland, putting an emphasis on the health of these kids. One of the first, not to bring politics into anything, but one of the first some of the first groups of people that I heard pushing back on the COVID vaccine were the athletes themselves saying, we don't want this. We've taken such good care of our bodies and we just don't know what this is. So I think there is a lot more on nutrition and all that good stuff and taking care of your body. And it shows. These dudes are, they're specimens, man. No doubt about it. Doubt about it. Coach Jackson, we did have some coaching changes over the last few days. We didn't really get into it yet because some just didn't. We'd heard about, but it wasn't that big of a deal. But now we're starting to see coaches get hired. And the first one was hired at Southern. He departing is Terrence Graves. He was relieved of his duties early in the season in October. Marshall Falk has been named their head coach, running backs coach at Colorado with your favorite person, Coach Deion Sanders. And, what do you think about that hire? There's this trend of these big NFL names coming to these schools, and they can bring a lot of attention to these schools that don't get it as much as they might deserve.
Well, Falk, I believe, is a guy he's coached before, and he's coached on a couple of different staffs. So
Yeah.
he's not just in it on his name. Now, don't get me wrong, he's Hall of Fame running back too. So the running back room ought to be pretty good. But I'm happy that Marshall gets out of that clown show up in Colorado, because another year or two he might be coaching running backs at Friendship Christian Middle School.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well,
what I guess what I'm saying is he brings the chops along with the name.
yeah.
So again, it should be a good hire for Southern.
Well, I mean, look what Deshaun Jackson did at Delaware State. I think we were pretty critical of that hire and Michael Vick hire. And Deshaun Jackson said, all right, I'll show you what I can do. And a lot of these guys are just professional. Their drive is like nothing else to win. They just have this competitive nature that, they're just incredibly competitive and they want to win. You surround yourself with good coaching staffs, anything can happen. We'll talk about some of these coaches. Go ahead and finish your thought there.
Well, I was going to tell you, it doesn't go well for everybody. I mean, obviously, Michael Vick's in a little bit of a struggle for himself. I think Tyrone Wheatley, who was at one of the Division II schools, they went 0-11
Yeah.
this year. He's going to have to make some changes. But what I like seeing is when the guys have served on other staffs and they've got an actual coaching pedigree, as opposed to just basing it on what kind of an athlete that they used to be. That doesn't always work. I mean, you can ask Magic Johnson when he was a basketball coach; he sucked.
And
Um,
Isaiah
Isaiah Thomas.
Thomas.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that didn't go well at all.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, if it would, Michael Jordan would have been a basketball coach and would have
Yeah.
been one of the good ones. But no, you got to. Just you're not going to get by on just your name alone, and I'm glad for these guys opening up the doors for other guys to coach like
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Well, Sanford also released their head coach, Chris Hatcher, Sweet Elizabeth's bring me some water. Thank you, baby. I love you. She said, there's coach. There she is. Hey, what's up, man? She brought me nice water. Them chestnuts getting to me. Um,
Wow.
Chris
Bet they
Hatcher.
are.
Yeah. Okay. Chris Hatcher relieved of his duties. John Gross, former coach there at Jacksonville State. He was a former player there. Spent 9 seasons, 8 as the head coach there at Jackson State. He spent the last 4 seasons on the Clemson football coaching staff. A lot of critique out of John Gross, but this is a coach that's got great experience and has turned around programs. And remember, he's the one at Jacksonville State that upset Florida State to start the season a couple years ago. That was the season that lost. What do you think of this hire?
Home run. I've sat in Coach Gross's office for a few times.
Okay.
And let me tell you, he's the nicest guy. He could. I hope he don't take this the wrong way, but he could sell ice to Eskimos. He's going to recruit really well. I think it's a home run hire
Good.
for Sanford, especially coming off what Chris Hatcher did. Sanford's not a barren program by any stretch of the imagination. Coach Gross is good out in the community. He's a good fundraiser. Dominated the OVC when he was there. Had professional guys, in and out of that program. Zarek Cooper's one of the quarterbacks he used to coach. He's anyway. It's to me, it's a home run hire,
Right.
and if I was the rest of the SoCon, I'd be kind of on. You're gonna get the same results that he got at Jacksonville State. That's his backyard. The whole state of Alabama. He knows everybody. He's like the mayor,
Yeah.
and he's the super good guy.
Good. Well, my only interaction with him was we were desperate to get him on the show. Me and Brandon, we were just starting off our podcast, and Jacksonville State had upset Florida State, and we are like, let's get this guy, Coach Cross, on this because Kennesaw State and Jacksonville State were rivals. We really wanted to kind of pick his brain about it, and he never wanted to come on the podcast. And finally, Coach Jackson, we got him on the podcast. And I messed up the times because I forgot it was Central Time Zone, and he shows up, and we were we were literally, Coach, we were literally 30 seconds late, and
Oh
he
yeah,
said, "I'm out."
yeah.
And he was done. He was done.
Mm.
Um,
Absolute professional
yeah,
guy. Literally, at the 2-3 interactions that I've had with him, literally, hell, I thought I was a relative of his for some reason, dude. I mean, he had me feeling great. I was like, dude, this is the play.
that's cool.
He's a good guy. He's going to be good at Sanford.
Yeah, we talked about. Brandon mentioned may open up UNA versus Sanford. Maybe it will open up UNA versus Sanford. Maybe. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
yes,
We'll
it
see.
could.
Albany has announced that Jared Ambrose is not going to return. They're going to do a national search for the head coach there. Probably good idea. They had a great win, obviously, to end the season, but it wasn't enough to save the job. Hampton also going to move on from Trenton Boykin. I think we mentioned that. Bruce Barnum is going to. They're moving on from Bruce Barnum there at Portland State. Cal Poly's Paul Wolf has been released for a change of leadership. Penn's head coach Ryan Priori is stepping down from his positions, and you mentioned this one. Presbyterian head coach John Englehart has accepted the job at University of Alabama at Birmingham. What a job he's done, and it just goes to show you. We talked about what Coach Chesney did, going from Holy Cross to James Madison, and now the UCLA head coach. What a job some of these FCS coaches do, and they make a name for themselves. And best of luck for John Englehart. He was on this show earlier this year, and just a class act of a human being. And really happy for him. He's going to go to UAB, where Trent Dilfer was relieved of another coach.
Yeah.
And I love Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer I like him as a person. I just know some personal stuff about him. And yeah, so, but there you go. I mean, that's going to be interesting to see how it goes for Coach Englehart. We'll follow his career, sure enough, Coach Jackson. It's great for him.
Yeah. Hey, and I hate to throw something else on your plate. I think Cal Poly hired a new coach today too. His name escapes me, but yeah, Cal Poly hired a new coach today. I just can't. And literally, he came from UCLA.
Timothy Walsh, maybe. Let me see.
Whoever was the interim coach, I believe at UCLA, I believe is now at Cal Poly.
Well, their website still has Paul Wolf. So Cal Poly head coaching news. Maybe I'll do that one and see. Okay, Tim Skipper, the head coach. 4 hours ago, Skipper arrives in San Luis Obispo with 25 years of coaching experience, ton of positive momentum following. Okay, well, congratulations to Tim Skipper, a new name we're going to get a chance to talk about in the offseason and see what he does. Okay, good stuff, good stuff. We have a interview coming up in about 10 minutes, but I don't want to delay talking about the games we're going to preview here. So let's go ahead and jump into these games, Coach. Preview these, and when our guest calls in, then we'll take a break and do our interview. It's a SWAC championship. It's Prairie View and Jackson State. Keep an eye on Prairie View. What a job they have done. This is a bid for the Celebration Bowl is up for grabs here. It's on ESPN2 at 2 p.m. Dynamic freshman of the year running back Chase Bingman for Prairie View is going to be tough against Jackson State's defense, led by SWAC Defensive Player of the Year Quincy Ivory. On the sidelines, Tremont Jackson, the SWAC Coach of the Year for Prairie View, takes on TC Taylor's Tigers at home. Should be a packed house, hard-hitting game. Very interesting. We will do picks here. Coach Jackson Prairie View and Jackson State University for this SWAC championship. We'll go with the chat as well. I see Brandon Haddock already picking Jackson State. Chat, if you want to jump in and give your picks, we'll kind of do a poll of who is up. I see Maryland also. Yeah, it's going to be a great game. Give me what you got, Coach Jackson, in this SWAC championship.
Well, you're right. It is going to be a great game. It'll be well attended. The band's going to be great. It's not Prairie View of old. Actually, my nephew's freshman at Prairie View, Jared
Very good.
Johnson. Oh yeah, and but they're not going to win Saturday. Jackson State's probably going. I don't think they'll boat race them, but and listen, Prairie View put up a fight. Their coach plainly said earlier this year that whatever elementary school that he went to, they didn't have recess, so he don't play no games. So
Yes.
I expect them to put up a good fight. But Jackson State's rolling right now,
Yeah.
and got a good team, got a good coach in place. I expect Jackson State to win.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it on Monday. This team is so much fun. They stumbled a little bit, stubbed their toe, but still a very fun team to watch. Very dangerous. I just don't see, and it may be like that history thing. Like, can I really pick Prairie View? Wouldn't be shocked if Prairie View put up a fight. But I think Jackson State's going to win this one. So I think it's Jackson State across the board. Colby Cluth coming in with the Tigers as well. So Jackson State in this one. Again, it should be a good matchup. But I think Jackson State should take this one and make their way to Atlanta for the Celebration Bowl. Next game, first game in the FCS playoffs. It's Villanova at Lehigh, a 12 p.m. kickoff on ESPN Plus. The number 5 seed Lehigh hosting the number 12 seed Villanova Wildcats. This game is going to be a contrast of those coaches. You got Mark Ferrante, a veteran, multiple playoff runs, going up against Kevin Cahill, Lehigh's a veteran coach as well, an older guy. He's seen a lot of football. He likes to establish a winning culture and loves to run the football and mix in the pass. He's got a 12-0 season on his belt right now, which is pretty dang good. Lehigh boasts the leading rushing game in the Patriot League with Luke Yoder. Villanova counters with a balanced attack featuring the efficient play of their quarterback, Pat McQuaid, and playmaking linebacker Shane Hartzell. Villanova owns the series, however, Coach Jackson, 12-1 versus Lehigh. The last Mountain Hawk win came in 2006. That was in Villanova, however, 31-28. Villanova and Lehigh. And got a chance to watch our friends in some of the other podcasts. A lot of people picking Lehigh in this. It's at home, Coach Jackson. I'm going to stick with Villanova. I think they got the hot hand. I think they have just more talent overall. What say you?
Villanova's got the better athletes. I mean, I don't know how you slice that any other way. They've got better athletes on offense. They got better athletes on defense. Lehigh's got a better team. They play together. They're good at just about everything. They're not going to make a whole lot of mistakes. Both teams are well coached. I'm going with the Supernova in a close one, in probably 21-20, 24-20. Could somehow or another could end up 24-22 somehow or another, or anything like that. But
Okay.
expect it to be a fantastic game. Expect it to be super cold, and I think Villanova pulls it out.
All right. Well, looks like the chat's going Villanova as well. Brandon Haddock says Lehigh. What's this Brandon say? What's up, Brandon Joseph? How are you?
Living the dream.
Kids in bed?
Uh-oh.
Finally.
Have you ever had roasted chestnuts? Never mind. We'll catch you up later.
No.
Dude, he got 2 kids. I guarantee you he's had roasted chestnuts.
Hey, yo.
Is
Ba-dum-boom.
liquor roasted chestnut?
Yeah,
that's what I need.
It might be. It might be.
That's
all right,
what
Brandon, you're jumping in just a little bit late. Let's rewind the tape. SWAC championship, Jackson State versus Prairie View A&M. Who you got?
Jackson State.
Yeah, across the board for us as well. All right, we're in this Villanova and Lehigh conversation here. I think Villanova's just got too many horses, and it's going to be tough on the road, but I'm going to take Nova. Coach Jackson's taking Nova. It looks like the chat's taking Nova. What you got?
Yeah, I think for Villanova, I mean, normally you would say the first round game would be a detriment. I mean, the way they treated Harvard, it was a tune-up game. I think Villanova rolls.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Looks like MT Motor Stables says Villy and Lehigh. Colby
And I'm with
Cluth.
Maryland. Hey, I'm with Maryland Bailey. I'm still a little bitter about Villanova too, but yeah, I'm still picking them.
Colby Cluth coming in with Lehigh saying Yoder's going to roll. And if Lehigh wins, yeah, Luke Yoder's going to have a pantload of yards. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Sorry, a little swig there. Let me grab this because I didn't realize Brandon was going to join us, Cobra Brandon. I got to get our little doohickeys here and put them in this kind of thing. Okay, here we go. Back at it. And are you there, Brandon? There we go. Okay, up next, we've got this one right here. It is Illinois State and NDSU. This is a rematch from a couple weeks ago where Illinois State took a beating, 33-16 in Norma, Illinois. Undefeated Bison at home in the Fargo Dome. Walter Payton Award nominee Cole Payton. We know what he can do. His top target is Bryce Lance. He's healthy, should be playing. Illinois State counters with MVFC Defensive Player of the Year Ty Niekamp and a dynamic freshman of the year wide receiver Luke Malander. And don't forget about the North Dakota State defense with Keenan Wilson and Logan Kopp. They'll be ready for the fight. Illinois State, Fargo, North Dakota against North Dakota State. Brandon Joseph, do they have a shot in this one?
No. Illinois State lost at home. They'll lose on the road to North Dakota State. They're not beating North Dakota State. The only way Illinois State can win this game is if they make it into a back-and-forth scoring contest. And I don't think they do. I think North Dakota State, they love to play that game where they'll keep it, as low as they can keep it. And that's just not a game I think Illinois State can win the game.
Coach Jackson, we hear those names, Tommy Rittenhouse, Rinkers Wright, Victor Dawson, the great running backs there at Illinois State. Scotty Preston Jr., who's a fullback, got named to the MVFC second team. Great blocker he can receive as well. Daniel Sopowitz is the top pass catcher, first team all MVFC. And they got that lineman, Jake Pope. They got a lot of talent there at Illinois State. What say you?
I think, what was the score of the first game? 33-16?
38-16, I think, something like
30.
that. But it was close. They ran away late.
Yeah, it'll be 48-10. Literally. I don't, it's playoff time. It's Bison time. I expect them to throttle the Illinois State. And I love what Illinois State's doing. Like Coach Spack, it just, not today.
Yeah. NDSU wins by 1,000,000 slime drip X. Well, I mean, tell us how you really feel. They don't have the corners on their stadium. It's super weird. I think it's just the horse race, right? And I just don't think Illinois State has. I love some of the talent, but this is a well-oiled machine, this North Dakota State team. So I'm at NDSU as well. Coach Jackson, NDSU chat, except for Brandon Haddock, who is a super underdog lover. NDSU as well. Should be a good one. I'm not hating it. Should be a good one. All right, up next, let's look at this game right here. It is North Dakota at Tarleton State. Tarleton State. Would they go by Tarleton or Tarleton State? I thought they dropped the state.
Both.
Tarleton State, second round of FCS playoffs. Number 4 seed Tarleton State had a bye. North Dakota picked up the win. Watch for North Dakota's defense to create chaos. Lance Rucker, he had 3 strip sacks, 2 for touchdowns to turn into touchdowns last week in the first round. The Fighting Hawks have the number 16 FCS defense, allowing just 19 points per game. Tarleton counters with that explosive offense of Victor Gabalis and Trey Page III. Still one of my favorite bio photos, by the way. He's got the big chain necklace, TP3. All AUAC receiver Peyton Kramer on defense. Keep an eye on Cassius Kearns. He's an interception machine. North Dakota, Tarleton, this is a very, very tough game. I really think that if Tarleton wants to be in the conversation, the big boy conversation, they got to come and really, really with a big-time fight and take a win here. North Dakota's on a roll. I'm having a trouble picking this one, but I think I'm going to go with North Dakota. on this one. I just feel that's where I think they just got in a rhythm. So give me the Fighting Hawks on the road at the Texan. Coach Jackson.
Well, the Texans are co-champs of the UAC.
Yeah.
Really second place because they lost to Abilene Christian. I think if they stay on schedule, they've got a chance with North Dakota, but I don't think that they will stay on schedule. When it goes good for the Texans, it goes good. But when it goes any kind of adversity, when it goes bad, it goes bad. I look for North Dakota to put it on them.
Whoa.
Probably 35-20 is what I'd score.
You
What
were the
I'd
only
call.
one who picked North Dakota last week, and it paid off for you. So sticking with the Fighting Hawks, Brandon Joseph, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a matchup that can go one or two ways, and it's not going to necessarily, as Coach was alluded to, I don't think the game ends close either way. Either Tarleton comes out and they do what they've done to a lot of programs, and they light up the scoreboard and they win by 2-3 scores, or North Dakota will punch them in the mouth and play a game that Tarleton isn't comfortable, force a couple of turnovers, and win by 2 or 3 scores. I don't envision this being, a field goal game, coming down to the final minute. I just don't think that's in there. As I watch one of my dogs try to hop in bed with my daughter, sorry.
And wake her up and
Yeah, that's what we're trying to avoid here. But the way this game is playing out, I think, to your point, Nathan, Tarleton needs to win this game. And they need to, if they want to say that they're part of the big boys, if they want to, quell the narrative that the fourth place MVFC team is better than most conference champions or runner up or ranked teams, then this game needs to be in the favor of the Texans. I don't know how the Texans can win this game given, just the fact that North Dakota is tested.
Mhm.
They've been in these close contests. They've been in these, for lack of a better term, dogfights. So I lean the Fighting Hawks that way. In the playoff game with that pedigree, but for Tarleton State, they need to win this game to quell the narrative. But for sake of winning the pick contest, I'm gonna have to take the Fighting Hawks.
Okay. Wow. Well, it looks like the chat is pretty split against Tarleton and North Dakota. Should be a good game. I think that I see more Tarleton than North Dakota, but it's close. So we'll say the chat's going to go with Tarleton just because they can't really do anything about it because I get to pick whoever. All right, Tarleton, and there you go. All right, how about this one coming up? It is whoopsie-daisy, South Dakota at Mercer. This game in the South should be a nice 60-degree day, maybe 55, 60-degree day. The South Dakota Coyotes coming in facing Mercer. Mercer's quarterback just got named the Jerry Rice Award winner. Congratulations to him. Very, very impressive young man as a freshman. But South Dakota's, done a few things this year themselves, and I think this is going to be a very, very tough matchup for Mercer. Their offense has done some good things. Their defense, I don't know. They've seen what Aiden Bauman's going to be bringing them in this South Dakota offense. Brandon, I'll let you start here. We hear a lot of things about South Dakota, and maybe in the MVFC against some of those teams they struggled, but against the Southern Conference champion, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, the thing that gets me in this game is I think, for South Dakota, they play everybody close, whether they're less talented or more talented.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're more talented and you play teams close, they give them the opportunity to win the game. How does the Mercer quarterback respond in a game like this? This is going to be, I don't want to say unlike anything that he's ever seen, but I don't think he's seen really much of this. I think what gives me confidence in Mercer is that Western Carolina game where they knew, okay, we have to figure out a way to win this game, and I kind of lean towards them that way. Boiling it down into a bigger picture, I think between South Dakota and North Dakota, these teams go 1-1. So I pick North Dakota to win their game. I'm going to pick Mercer to win this one, but I can easily see the results being flip flopped.
Yeah, and I Garrett has a great comment. If Bauman stays upright, South Dakota should win. If not, if Mercer can put pressure on Bauman, and we talked about pressure, how important it is on Monday. If Mercer can find a way to pressure Bauman, who's been suspect at times. I think that's a key, Coach Jackson. But don't forget about L.J. Phillips. Remember that L.J. Phillips Jr.?
Mhm.
The run game for South
Yeah.
Dakota, I think, could be the key to this win if they are going to pick one up on the road.
Yeah, not only the running game, but I think the game really is going to center on the quarterback for Mercer. And I don't, as much as I like him, I hope Mercer wins. I'd like for him to win, but I have to go with kind of some old thinking that listen, you got a freshman quarterback, mistakes can kind of pile up. I think he'll play. I think he'll play well, but I think he's got some lessons to learn. I take South Dakota in a close one.
All right. So it looks like South Dakota is also being picked. Listen, I'm going to go with Mercer. Not just because Sweet Elizabeth's from Macon.
Yeah, that's a good
But,
choice, though.
but her
Solid.
mom went to Mercer. Her whole family went to Mercer. But,
Solid reasoning.
I feel like you just have to, you see an upset of some kind and you're looking at some of these games. By the way, interesting fact, 4 of the games that we have this week are all first-time opponents. South Dakota has never played Mercer ever before. There's a couple other ones. And so Mercer played UC Davis early on. They're not afraid of the competition at home.
No,
I
they
hope it's
didn't.
sold out. Go ahead.
They didn't play UC Davis. The game never happened.
That's true. They didn't. They wanted to. They tried their best to. I'm going to go Mercer on this one. I just feel like there's going to be an upset, and if this freshman goes in no fear kind of thing, what does he have to lose? Jerry Rice Award winner. I think it could be dangerous for South Dakota. Plus, I've been pretty critical of Aiden Bauman on the season. Give me Mercer in this one, and just my opinion. Just my opinion. All right, up next, we've got Doink. I'm not so sure how to take this one. Yale going out to Bozeman, Montana State. I know Kobe Kluth is wanting us to dive deep into this one, so let's see what kind of information we can pull out. It's the number 2 seed hosting Yale. Yale had that giant slaying of Youngstown State a week ago, fresh off a 28-point comeback. They travel to Bozeman. It's going to be snowy and uncomfortable, no doubt about it. But keep an eye on Yale's All-American running back, Josh Pitzenberger, who put the team on his back and carried them to victory on Saturday against the Penguins. He ran for over 200 yards, by the way. But this is a stout Bobcat defense led by Brody Grebe. I'm not even sure how you pronounce his name. And Caden Dowler. Those guys, those names, we got a chance to call. Other side, the team's dominant rushing attack, and Julius Davis and Adam Jones. And Justin Lamson was so impressive late in the season. He's a big guy, big broad kid, big strong kid. It's going to be a clash of 2 philosophies. You got Yale's long-tenured coach and Tony Reno against Montana State's tournament-tested and veteran Brent Vegan. Should be interesting. Cold weather. Yale doesn't have a chance. Montana State in this one, Coach Jackson.
You know what? Here I'm gonna make the case for both of them.
Go for it.
Yeah, listen, Yale's got a solid team.
Yeah.
That not too terribly fast, but they got a solid team. So they're gonna have to play a little defense against Montana State. Now, look, they can't get down 35-7.
Yeah.
If that happens, it's gonna be 70-14. By
Yeah.
they're not gonna have the same thing.
Yeah.
They've got a long way to travel. But listen, it's those kids' day with the proper motivation. You're gonna have to have a good speech coming. They got to get started quickly. If they can get started quickly, then they're only gonna get beat 45-28. If they don't get started quickly, it's going to be even worse than that. So I won't, as much as I'd like, I want Cinderella to keep her slipper on, but I don't see it happening.
What do you think, Brandon? This has been a great story for you.
I don't see how this goes. Dante Reno's a very, very good quarterback. I mean, if he would have stayed at South Carolina, Lenore Sellers went down. I think there was a good chance. I know they went with a guy in Luke Doty who'd been there a while. I think they would have given Dante Reno some snaps there. They're very high on him there. But with that said, they just don't have the horses to beat Montana State. I mean, you get down that big as you did to Youngstown, which I think is a distinct possibility that happens again. I could see them down 28 plus. There's no way, absolutely no way they come back on Montana State. So it's just, Yeah, and there's no way this happens. Montana State wins big.
And let me ask you guys this, and I was thinking about this early in the season. I mean, earlier this weekend, because we're seeing this divide of Midwest, Dakotas, the Montanas, the Big Sky, and MVFC versus the Southern Conference, the East Coast kind of teams. Could the playoffs be split like the NFL, East Coast, regional, West Coast, and then have a East versus West champion? Would that be beneficial to the FCS to keep those fans on the East Coast from tuning out?
No, I mean, the biggest problem has been anybody who reaches any level of success outside of, and deal with it. I'm sorry, anybody who deals with any level of success outside the Missouri Valley or the Big Sky generally gets poached and gets called to move up. I mean, if you have any sort of contact with a major market, they want you. And I can say this until I'm blue in the face about that. That's the problem. Every other school that has shown that, hey, we can potentially contend, or we have contended, leaves. And
Yeah.
there's a different market for them out there. So, I mean, what does it matter at this point? I mean, if the Missouri Valley wants to reign supreme, let them reign supreme. I mean, it people aren't watching the FCS championship game because of some potential monumental upset. You know what you're going to get when you go into the playoffs. It's going to be something with a Dakota next to it, and odds are something with a Montana involved in it. And you just go in there and they put the game on a time where there's not a lot of great college football on. There's probably an NFL playoff game, but I would argue to say the vast number of the viewers in that area are more college football fans than NFL fans. I mean, you get a pretty big number, pretty good number off of that one because it's on linear television, and those just get big numbers. But I mean, for the betterment of FCS football, you don't need to divide them. You need these other programs to figure out how to step up, stay, and figure out a way to compete. And I don't want to sound crass when I say this. North Dakota State gets what? The second best, player at a position from Minnesota, Iowa, North Dakota, South Dakota, maybe the first best player in some regards. Mercer has to get like the 20th best offensive lineman in the state of Georgia because guess what? The 19 other ones are going P4, then G6,
Right.
and then the pool is. So they will always have a talent advantage because the talent is so far less, and I will say that wholeheartedly. I have single A schools around here in the state of Georgia that can go beat the highest classification in North and South Dakota, hands down. The competition is more for those kids, so they will always have a recruiting advantage in the area. So nothing will make it close.
And I like the point. Step up, show up, or get out. And I do like that. And Coach Jackson, it seems like you're in agreement with that.
Well, I kind of agree with Brandon. I mean, one of the advantages that some of them schools have out there is there's not but one or two Division I programs in the whole flipping state, where some of these other places they got 5 or 6 um, Division I programs within their state. Now, I will, I agree with Brandon, but I do want to. I don't think we ought to still overlook Yale, because honestly, if you follow the Bible, I think David didn't have much of a chance against Goliath. So if Yale brings that little bag of rocks and hits them in the right spot, maybe they've got a chance. I don't think so, but I hope so.
Well, I can tell you this much: Pitzenberger has the skill set
Yeah.
to to punch.
Yeah.
It's just, can you punch for 60 minutes against a team
Right.
like Montana State? I think the answer is
Right.
no to
The
120 of the whatever 129 teams in the FCS. The answer is
the
no.
biggest problem Yale has is, and it's going to be a convenient argument in this one, but everybody ignores the fact that anywhere else, the line play. I mean,
Yeah.
Yale is going to be so much smaller on the line,
Yeah.
and if you talk to North Dakota State fans, that doesn't matter to them. They can go win the SEC with, being 50 pounds lighter than everybody else, but that's neither here nor there. But in this game, watch. They're going to be dominant in the line of scrimmage. There's going to be no push defensively from Yale, I think, to get after Montana State offensively. And conversely, the Montana State offensive line will be able to live in the backfield and make it very uncomfortable for Yale offensively.
Yeah, Slime Drip XX mentioned, skill players aside, can Yale survive the trenches, and do they have the depth? The answer is they will survive. Means they'll go home alive, but they're not going to survive in the playoffs. So that's the trick. That's the trick. Yeah, is Pitts better than Eli Gilman? Gosh, competition wise, you can't say yes or no. And after this game, you'll have a better idea. But in my opinion, you can't say Pittsburgher is even close to Eli Gilman just because of the competitive nature. That was Slime Drip X asking that question. So, all right, there we go. Up next, we've got the South Dakota and Montana game, probably the game that everyone's circling and wants to watch. It's going to be a fantastic matchup. Look for the Grizz. Kelly Ayotte, who's the quarterback, Big Sky passing leader, star running back Eli Gilman, as Slime Drip X just mentioned. SDSU is going to counter with their own workhorse in Angel Luffridge, or Lowridge, I heard him pronounced earlier. Second team All-MVFC, Cullen McShane in linebacker if he plays. Chase Mason is back, hopefully, right? Leading the Jack Rabbits. What he did against UNH was very, very impressive. Coming back from an injury and being able to start that fast, man, that was unbelievable. So SDSU going to Montana. Coach Jackson, I'm going to let you start here because you said it's the best atmosphere, the best college stadium right there in Missoula, Montana. How do you see this one playing out?
Well, I know that South Dakota State's a different team with their quarterback, and they've got their quarterback. And when they bring them to the Grizzly Stadium, they about to get mopped. Literally, the place is going to be packed. It's going to be a beautiful ball game, and I just don't think that. I don't think there's any way South Dakota State stays even remotely close with Montana.
Yeah. By the way, you said they're going to get rocked.
Mopped.
That's
They could get rocked and mopped.
That's my second to Brandon saying someone's going to get drilled. That always cracks me up when Brandon says so-and-so's going to get drilled. South Dakota State, listen, in my opinion, this is not the same South Dakota State from just 3 weeks ago. Chase Mason is back. They've learned some things about themselves. They're going to go in there with a big-time fight, but I just feel like Coach Houck, he's that consistent leader. I think Grizzlies just have been a more consistent team. So I'm going to go Montana Grizz with the win there at home. Brandon.
Yeah, South Dakota State did to New Hampshire what a lot of teams were doing to South Dakota State, and that's just getting up big during their 4-loss streak. I told you all this last week. Mysterious Chase Mason was going to show up and play. They planted the seeds all along, almost as if a bag got dropped and they got homeboy to come back and play. His foot suddenly got magically delicious.
Yeah.
And he was able to go back out there and play out of the blue after being in the regular jersey, but still not healthy enough to play. He was healthy enough to play at the end of the regular season. They made it financially worth it. I will raise my hand and go with that for forever. With that said, good luck, Chuck. I mean, I will also agree, you shouldn't have been in the playoff. No team who has lost 4 consecutive FCS games to FCS opponents, including the team that finished last in their conference, has made the FCS playoff. But you know what? Because South Dakota State played 3 tough games earlier in the year and won, and magically got their quarterback back after their head coach had been planting the seed that he would show back up in the playoffs if they made it into the playoffs. They got in and they got a seed. Well, this is what you get for it, and I hope, and I really do hope that Houck, Ayotte, Gilman, and all those guys play to the highest level of their ability, because if they do, I don't care how well South Dakota State's defense has been playing lately, they're not going to beat Montana. I think Montana could win this game by 14 points.
Whoa.
And that's not a stretch in playing their best. I just think the talent gap there, I think the holes that South Dakota State showed during the 4-loss streak wasn't Chase Mason's problem.
Right.
And I think they think Chase Mason's a panacea. No, he's not a panacea for a lot of ills of that defense. I think Montana wins this game, and I really, really hope Montana wins this game because I cannot deal with another Twitter thing of South Dakota State fans thinking that they are the heir apparent to everything in this world.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think it's going to be a great matchup. Either way, it's the two bigs. They're fighting this one out, and you want the teams to be healthy. You don't want them, the South Dakota State, limping in with their backup quarterback, and then their excuses. They got no excuses right now, and I still think the Grizz are going to win.
Well, he wasn't limping in. He was fine.
Well,
and then the bag showed up, and then magically he was played.
He was shuffling in. There you go.
Yeah.
He stayed healthy. Chad agrees. Looks like Montana across the board. All right, we're going to go ahead and talk about this one. We did have Coach Carthel scheduled. Something must have happened. We've not heard from him. We talked to their SIDs. He was on board with coming on, but it is playoff week, so things happen. And
he's probably busy. He got some stuff.
Busy. He is probably busy. I'm not going to
Now,
hold it against him.
Did he think it was 9:30 Central Time? Because I think we've had this issue with him before, where you get his time zones a little bit confused.
We remember Coach Gross. I don't know if you heard, Coach, has been hired by Sanford. Brandon, as our head coach. Remember the one time we tried to get him and I messed up the time and we were 1 minute late and he was like, "Forget it, I'm out of here." I hope. I mean, I'm dealing with his SID and I put in there, the time difference, and so whatever. We'll see.
Do they observe daylight savings time in Natchitoches?
I don't know. I don't know.
Various questions.
Yeah, I mean that's Central Time Zone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I may have messed it. I have to go back and look at the email. Now you got me questioning myself. All right, anyway, we got this one. It is Stephen F. Austin and Abilene Christian, a longtime rivalry. In fact, they played earlier in the season, the second game of the season, and Abilene Christian won this game, dropping SFA to 0-2. Well, Lumberjacks went on a 10-0 run, winning the Southland Conference. 10-2 on the season. They've got Sam Vidlak, if healthy. Now he's played some in the games, but has been relieved by Gavin Rutherford. So we're not sure if Sam Vidlak's going to be playing or not. Not sure. For Abilene Christian, Stone Earl is their quarterback. Javon Gibson is going to be challenging. He's also got, let's see, oh, goodness gracious. Bluebell just walked in here and wanted to say her piece. So it's going to be a fantastic matchup for these two teams. They're very familiar with themselves. Kylon Harris, by the way, preseason All-American, first-team All-Conference selection for the Lumberjacks. He's their top receiver, and he is trying to get over 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns as he did last season. So congratulations to him. He's had another great season. So this one should be a great one. The question mark is health for SFA, ACU, Abilene Christian, Keith Patterson. We know what Coach Carthel's all about. Keith Patterson's a little bit more easy demeanor, but they picked up the first win. We've always heard it's difficult to beat the same team twice in 1 year, Brandon Joseph. So what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think the health is going to be the big issue. I mean, Stone Earl's done a good job of coming back to Abilene Christian. We spent last year at Marshall, spent some time as their starting quarterback. Of course, that was a mess there. If you know anything about Marshall football last year, that program was a mess about mid-October on. So he had to deal with that. And, he was benched early and then called on to play some and then benched again and then moved to third string. So he's done a nice job of finding his rhythm and finding that confidence in being a quarterback, again, a starting quarterback. Vidlak on the other side, he's just a natural leader. And, you see that demeanor that he had when he transferred out of Montana to come to SFA. If he's not healthy, I don't think the Lumberjacks can win the game. So that's going to be the big preference that, spell him or not, even if he's, half go, you don't generally see teams with injured quarterbacks unless it's Montana State and you had touchdown Tommy Malott coming off the bench and showing greatness, generally can win in the playoffs. So with the question mark of Vidlak, I'm going to take Abilene Christian, but I don't foresee this being much of a different game, at least on the scoreboard, than the first game. I think one score potentially will separate these teams, and I could see it being in that same realm of, 28-20 was the final of the first game. Give them 28-24 maybe.
Still with ACU then?
Yeah.
Coach Jackson? Kind of glad Coach Colby Carthel's not here.
I wouldn't have said that if he was there.
See
I
what the
wouldn't have
chat
said
says,
that.
what Brandon says. By
Wouldn't
the way,
have
Yeah,
said
I
that.
wasn't going. I wasn't going to pick against him either if he showed up.
Yeah,
But
there you go.
the losers got to change their colors. So I fully expect that Stephen F. Austin's going to show up in red and blue next year. Listen, I think Stephen F. Austin's got a dynamic defense, especially up front. Offensively, on the other side, other side of the scale, I think Abilene Christian does a lot of things really good. They've got a really good running back. They got a really good quarterback. They've got good wide receivers, and they've got an adequate defense. So
Mm.
they check 3 out of the 4 boxes for me. Stephen F. Austin. One big check is their defensive line, but everything else is really kind of questionable. So I'm going with Abilene Christian.
All right. We got Abilene Christian from Brandon, Coach Ron Jackson, and the chat looks like they're going to go with Abilene Christian as well. I'm sticking with SFA. You're at home. I do believe it's difficult to win, to beat the same team twice in a season. And Coach Jackson, I love what you said. The defense is finding itself for SFA. They went on a 10-win streak to win the Southland. Not that they're saying the Southland was a particularly difficult conference, but there's teams in there that are tough to beat. And SFA had to play most of them because they didn't play some of them. But, I still think that they have the pieces in place to win, even if Sam Vidlac isn't playing. Gavin Rutherford's actually done a decent job. Very, very impressed with that young man. Not a particularly big kid, about 6'1", 210, so he's probably about 6 foot, maybe 5'11", but he's done the job. So I'm going to stick with SFA on this one. Lyle's joining me with this one as well. Kobe Kluth also saying SFA. So now it's kind of balancing out the scales a little bit.
I got a distinct problem with SFA too, and I was going to bring this up with Coach. The naming thief. The naming thief. They are 4 hours away from Austin. Like, I get it. You're named after the father of Texas, but you're 4 hours. At least Sam Houston is an hour and 10 minutes away from Houston. You are 4 hours away. That's a flight. Change your name.
And you know well, anyway. I don't know. That's Stephen F. Austin. I
know there's history.
What are they going to change their name to? The prison museums?
Nacogdoches State College, University.
No one can spell it. That's the problem. And then
Nasty Natchez.
Yeah. And I think, don't they have a huge statue of Sam Houston right outside of the college out there or something? Yeah. So whatever. By the way, Stephen F. Austin was actually born in Virginia. So put that in your hat and do whatever you want to do with it. All right, final game of the night. It is this Rhode Island, the champions of the CAA. But we're going to make you travel all the way across the country to face UC Davis. Oh, boy. That makes me this is the kind of stuff about the FCS playoff committee thing that I'm like, how do you not give a little nod to Rhode Island, the CAA championship champion who's been playing, and then anyway. But I don't think that because it's in California and you're having to fly all the way across a long way to play, a difficult place to play. Coach Plow is legit. This is a team that's now rested. Got to go with UC Davis in this one, Coach Jackson.
Yeah, you've given Coach Plow a week to prepare. It'd be hard for me to believe that they come in underprepared. It's a home game. It's a tough trip for Rhode Island all the way out to California. So I'm like you. I'm gonna go with Coach Plow and UC Davis.
Brandon.
Yeah, in every regard, and you've heard this from Big Ten coaches, the Oregons, the USC's, UCLA's of the world, Washington, about I have to travel back east and play, a noon kickoff, which is 9 a.m. Our time. You know what's worse and more bogus than that? Having to travel out west and then sit around until 10 p.m. Eastern to go play a football game that's not going to be done until 1 a.m. Eastern, and that's what you're making Rhode Island do. I don't care if they show up Friday at 3 p.m. I mean, they probably won't leave Rhode Island until 5 to try to fly across country and then
Yeah.
play the next day, and they have to stay up until 1 a.m. Eastern. And then hopefully the NCAA is letting them stay the night out there before they fly back. But I don't put it past the NCAA to tell them to get their ass on a plane and go back home after the game, win, lose, or draw. So I think for Rhode Island, the odds are just stacked up against them. I'm tired, and this is my little soapbox of all these, out west coaches complaining about having to travel east to go play games when it's more grueling, and I've done it. I've been a part of crews that have traveled from Atlanta to Phoenix to go play a game that didn't kick off until 9:30, to San Diego to play a game that didn't kick off until 10 a.m. and you didn't land back home until 7:30 in the morning. It is more bogus to do that than come the other way. So Rhode Island is the odds are stacked against them, not to mention the talent that UC Davis has. I'm taking the Aggies in this game.
Yeah, it looks like everyone's kind of agreeing with this. By the way, if Rhode Island does win, they're winning the national championship. Just go ahead and crown them. In my opinion.
I love the guy with the Sac State emblem saying Rhode Island's gonna win big. Like he's not a little biased in this, in his hatred for UC Davis.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. All right, so Coach Jackson, congratulations. We know you're in Eastern Kentucky for your son's graduation from EKU. Congratulations. What are y'all's plans the rest of the afternoon, or the rest of the trip there?
Well, first of all, let me say this. I'm proud of my young man. He's put in a lot of hard work. He got a master's degree, and we're tickled, proud of him, all that good stuff. We probably gonna go eat after graduation's at 1 o'clock. So we'll probably head up to Lexington and eat someplace a little bit after that. There's a axe throwing place down the road that I like to go to. There's several liquor stores I'm gonna pass between now and then. So I'm gonna celebrate. My daughter's here. My mother-in-law is decide to come up, so I'm gonna snatch her oxygen tank and hide that joker tomorrow.
A little pinched and hose.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
Nice.
anyhow, we don't have a whole lot planned. We'll probably head back Friday, and like I said, we're just gonna celebrate our young man tomorrow.
Well, all the best. Congratulations to you and the wife and Ryan and his fiance. It's a special day, and we're glad you're there to celebrate it. Seriously, good stuff, and congratulations to Ryan. Brandon, how's your weekend looking?
What is going on this weekend? I'm at a casino Friday, which is great. So
Nice.
if anybody needs me to lay down any bets, hit me up. Then Saturday, I think it's gonna be Christmas tree and doing some stuff that way. And then preparing for the lovely state of Georgia high school football state championships that are quickly approaching.
Yes, they are. And
Across
thank you
the
so
Empire
much for
State of South. So it's just a lot of prep work for that.
Thank you so much for including me in the championships. I look forward to calling some of those games on 680 or whatever it is going to be on.
and Coach, does Ryan have any interest in joining and becoming the defensive coordinator of Harvard, because they need some defensive help?
Listen, Ryan needs a job, so he's about willing to take a coaching job anywhere right now. And listen, it's got to be a job that's got some benefits, because he's gonna have a wife here in about 7-8 months.
That's right.
So yeah,
That's
I mean,
he's definitely, yes, he's interested. If I have to push his
Sela
ass
needs to be
off
in the
that,
market for one. I mean, there's a lot of FBS schools that need to be in the market
hey,
for a few also.
bring him on. He would love it, but believe me.
Well, you guys obviously have a great weekend. Chat, you guys were awesome again. Once again, we eclipsed the century mark in messages. We matched our live viewers. Thank you guys so much. It is important, if you don't mind hitting that like button and the subscribe button. It's free to do. It just kind of gives us a better idea who's watching and what you're interested in and so on, because I can see when you're jumping in and out of the podcast to watch the show. We love involving our fans. A lot of new people in the chat as well. Super excited with the viewership of this show. It has been like a rocket ship the last couple of weeks, and you guys have been the fuel for that rocket ship. Really, it's been so great. So thank you so much, Brandon. So glad you could join. Coach Carthel, we'll catch you again maybe next
Watch,
year.
he's going to join at 10:30 Eastern.
I just looked. 8:30 Central is what time Eastern?
9:30.
Okay. There you go. I'm not the wrong on this one, but I'm not so sure. Maybe I sent him the wrong link.
Did we ever check the chat? He may be like on a burner account in the chat.
Slime Drip X is Kobe Carthel, actually.
There we go.
No,
There we go.
just kidding. All right, gentlemen. Y'all have a great day. For Brandon Joseph, for Coach Ron Jackson, I'm Nathan McCreary. Thank you, guys. Chat. Hit that like, subscribe, and we'll have a great weekend. Yeah, we'll see you for the recap show on Monday night. This has been the FCS Checkdown. Y'all take care. Let's go.